Well, hello guys, ¿qué pasa? Antonio Serrano here, and today I have a magical tip for you. Something that I do in my shows, as you know, is comedy and magic, but something that I add to my show was balloon figures. And this was a long time ago when I was, I think, probably 14, 15, finishing secondary school, just before going to high school. I showed some interest in doing balloon figures, advanced balloon figures. I started with simple things, and nowadays I can do some pretty advanced, interesting stuff. So I remember that it was my father that told me, Antonio, you should add these incredible balloon figures that you do to your show. And I didn't want to. The reason why I didn't want to is because I didn't want people to think that I was a clown that knew how to do some tricks. I want people to really knew that I was a magician. If I do these great balloon figures, maybe they are going to think that I am a better balloon modeler than a magician, and I didn't want that. And my father, who is an incredible critic for art, he has a very, very good taste to what is going to be funny, what is going to be great on stage, what is going to be not that good, let's say that way. He's an outstanding critic, the best critic I ever had, because he's being 100% honest, and you need people like that around you, let me tell you that. So he was like, you need to put this in because nobody around here can do with balloons the things that you do, okay? And that was completely true. I started doing that and it was great. People were telling me, this is great. Only the balloons that you left here after the show are worth your price. Only the balloons. So that's great, right? Because you are adding value to your show. So this video is basically to give you some reasons why you should add balloons to your show. I think that balloons are very colorful, are things that pack extremely flat, extremely small, but then you blow them up and they are extremely visible. Everywhere you can go to a stage, extremely big stage, and they are going to see a modeling balloon or a round balloon. They are going to see that perfectly, and they are funny. Balloons are funny. Moving the balloon, the noise the balloon makes, blowing up the balloon, which is quite hard. Just blowing up the balloon, a modeling balloon, is impressive for laymen. So I don't see the point of not using modeling balloons or any type of balloon in your show. They are great. I have seen comedy magicians that only perform for adults, killed an entire room of adults just basically doing gags with balloons, right? And Gallagher, the comedian Gallagher, you know, the guy that smashes fruit and all that stuff, he also has great beats using balloons, using modeling balloons. So yeah, it has like kind of the image cliche that modeling balloons are for kids, but they are not. They are items that if you are creative, you are going to get a lot out of them. So I'm going to give you 5 ideas that I think are quite interesting to put balloons into your show. The first idea that I'm going to give you is to change a magical object that you use in your show for a balloon. For example, you can perform cut and restore rope, but instead of using a rope, you can change the rope for a balloon. Yeah, and you can do that with a thumb tip and an extra loop, which is the way I perform it. You can have other ways to do that. You can even change the cut and restore balloon inside of a bag, a change bag, Mary switch can, which is a great prop that I also have and use sometimes. So you change that, and there are some balloons, it's quite difficult to get them, but there are some balloons, modeling balloons, that have one color in the top half and another color in the bottom half. So for some time I was thinking, I never performed it, I never put it on a stage, but I thought about doing a half-dyed routine using balloons. Like a white balloon, and the white balloon change to a blue balloon and go back and forth, and then both balloons put together like a half-dyed balloon using those balloons. And the best part is that you can inflate the balloon at the end and you have a half-white, half-blue balloon. That would be a killer routine. And it's basically a well-known routine, but I am changing the magical object for the balloon, okay? The next piece of advice that I'm going to give you is more or less the same, but in this case, instead of changing a magical object, for the balloon, I am changing a normal object. If you use something that is basically an object, a thing in your show that is not magical in any way, shape or form, you can also change it for a balloon. For example, you see a lot of times people that need to force a color and they have like a pack of cards with colors writing on them. What's the point of that? Or they have like a net bag full of silks or full of sponge balls. Those sponge balls could be normal things. Those silks could be normal things. A silk or a sponge ball is normal for us, but for people, they are magical objects. So why don't you have a plastic bag full of different color balloons? And a kid chooses one, and that's the forced color, right? And for me, it makes way more sense to have a bag full of different color balloons than to have a net bag full of sponge balls. I don't see the point of that. Okay, if you are not going to use in another point in your show all of those sponge balls, I don't see the point, right? The same thing with the deck of cards. It's like, we know how to force a card, I'm going to force a card with a color writing on it. I don't like that, okay? So you can change that for a balloon. Another idea that I have is, for example, a load for a chop cup. You can do very, very small balloon figures. Any figure that you can do in a bigger scale, you can do it to a smaller scale. So I can do, for example, a ladybug, a very, very beautiful balloon ladybug, and I can make it extremely small, and I can load that under the chop cup or the cups and balls. A chop cup is better because I have a very big chop cup. Normally, cups and balls are not that big, okay, most of them. And it is great because I am producing something under the cup and it is impressive. First of all, because it is appearing under the cup, and secondly, because it's a balloon figure. So it's like both kicker endings. It's not like, oh, an orange. People are not amazed because it is an orange. They are amazed because it appeared. But if you produce from under the chop cup something that people have never seen, like a balloon ladybug, is quite outstanding. You are doubling the amount of amazement by doing the same. So it's a great alternative. The other thing I've got here are predictions. I love this. There is a great book called Globomagia in Spanish. I don't know exactly the name in English, but it is basically a book. There are 2 volumes. The second one is more towards doing the sculptures, like the instruction to do the sculptures, so I don't have that book. The first one is the magic that you can use applying those sculptures. So the book is from Federico Concetti. He's Italian, right? And he says in one of the chapters in the book, he says, a balloon is like a line. A balloon is like something that you can draw, something that you can write with. So instead of writing a prediction, you can make a balloon, and the balloon is the prediction. And that was the spark that I needed for my animal rock paper scissors routine, which is basically an animal prediction, right? But instead of having the picture of an animal or writing down the animal, I have inside of a hamper a balloon figure of that animal, so the impact is much bigger. I am sure that I say, oh, what's your animal? An octopus. And here in the notepad I wrote octopus. That's extremely lame. But I say, what? An octopus? Okay, right, I have a present for you. An octopus. And they see a very big balloon octopus. It's much better, and you use that as a prediction. Buster Balloon, a great guy. I would love to make a video about Buster Balloon someday. Great performer. He has like a kind of comical prediction using books, right? Books with different balloons, different images, and then he switches that book for another book that has all of the same images, which is a dog, and he's like, you are going to choose one of these balloon figures, and that balloon figure is going to be inside of that box. And the spectator says stop in a page, and he starts asking questions about the about the sculpture, and the sculpture ends up being a cake, a birthday cake. And when Buster Balloon opens the box and a balloon birthday cake appears, great balloon sculpture, as all of the balloon sculptures that Buster Balloon does, he produced the birthday cake. Is impressive because the prediction, it seemed that it went wrong, the trick went wrong. Everyone was expecting a dog, which is genius from Buster Balloon. Like, everyone is expecting a very simple dog that everyone has seen at some point in their life, a very simple one balloon dog, and suddenly a birthday cake appears. So great. And it's basically a prediction, but the prediction is the balloon sculpture in itself, not write them down or something like that. And also for predictions, I have the masks. For example, masks. There is a great DVD from Nifty Balloons, which is a marriage, a couple of guys that do outstanding art with balloons, and there is a DVD, a downloadable DVD that where they teach you how to do balloon masks, outstanding balloon masks. I can show you some pictures of those balloon masks right now, and these are all balloon masks that I did in the past. You can take a look at them. Have you seen that? They are incredible. The monkey, for example, was the waiter in my college cafeteria, in my campus cafeteria, and he loved my balloon figure, so every time that I practice a balloon figure, I always gave it to him. And my sister and me wearing the witch mask, they are great. So you can do a prediction of a character, kind of a red carpet, kind of, I think that it was the name, I don't own that routine, red carpet. But instead of producing like a rubber mask of the, and that's basically the idea of the routine of red carpet, you force, or a spectator selects a famous celebrity, a character, a famous person, and you have like some kind of blindfold covering your face, and when you take it off, you are wearing a mask of that celebrity, of that famous character. So instead of using a rubber mask, which is something that most people know, you can put on like a very big hamper or a very big cardboard box on your head, which is, in my point of view, funnier, kind of like the telepathic routine from Mike Caveney, using like a trash can on top of his head. And when you take it out, you are wearing a mask, but it is a balloon mask, right? And you guess that they are thinking about a witch, or Santa Claus, or a donkey, or something like that. It's great. It's extremely funny to use those balloons, art predictions. So yeah, that's killer. I can tell you that is 100% killer. Then it's a great giveaway. It's a great giveaway. A lot of magicians give away balloons, but very simple balloons. And here I use Pablo Picasso's, the great painter, sculptor, artist of the century. Here I use Pablo Picasso's rule, which is if you are going to do what others are doing, you have to be the best. As simple as that. If you want to do what other people is currently doing, you have to be the best at that. So a lot of magicians are giving away balloon swords, balloon dogs, very simple flowers. But if I give away a mask, a very big dog, a bouquet of flowers with the ladybug, the butterfly, a bumblebee, if I do that, I am doing what other people around me are doing, but I am the best. So this is basically my thoughts when we talk about balloons as giveaways, right? If you want to give away a balloon figure, do it. But you have to be extremely good, because if you are simple, if you do what everyone else is doing, there is no point, right? And it is something that you are going to let a lot of kids. They say to me, oh, I still have the very big dog or the flowers that you gave me. I still have, I love doing, and this is a figure from Buster Balloon, a very big palm tree with a monkey climbing the palm tree. And they are like, oh, I still have the monkey. He is like this small right now, yeah, because balloons start deflating little by little, but I still have it. So kids, remember that. If you give a kid a very simple balloon dog, which I had, if you give a kid a very small balloon, he's going to throw it away. He's not going to care about that dog, because it's like, it's just a balloon. He made it in like a minute. I don't care about this. But if you give that kid an octopus, a monkey, a very big interesting sword or something like that, they are going to keep it and they are going to remember that. So great as giveaways if you keep your game up. Very important. And the last thing is that there are a lot of tricks that use balloons. So there are tricks where you don't even have to think. You don't even have to think about how am I going to apply a balloon in here. There are a lot of tricks that already require balloons, like the balloon swallow or balloon. Balloon is a great trick from Mark Genest. You sign a bill, the bill vanishes any way you want, and the bill appears inside of a round opaque balloon. And the way I do that routine is in a stage, in a much more big environment. Instead of having just a round balloon, I made a very crazy balloon hat, a very interesting balloon hat with a lot of crazy colors, and in the middle of the hat I have a round balloon or sometimes a heart balloon, and inside that balloon is where the bill appears. Right? And it is great. If you use a heart balloon, it's extremely funny because it is like, I'm going to kill your heart, I'm going to break your heart, and the bill appears inside. Oh, no problem. A lot of the times when a heart gets broken, money appears, right? It's like money. Money is great to forget about a broken heart. So you have a lot of gags there, and being able to create great things with balloons can make a trick that is in this level go to this level, right? I add balloons, I add crazy things, and it becomes much better. Okay guys, so this is everything that I have to tell you about adding balloons to your show. I hope that you find this information useful. Please put a lot of balloons in your show, you are not going to regret it. Please leave a comment, subscribe, tell me all of the ideas that you have from this video and all of the ideas that you think that I forgot, which typically are a lot, and I see you, as always, in a near future. Bye there!